Okay. So it should be recording. Does it say recording on your top left corner? Okay, cool. Okay, so we'll get started. Welcome everyone. We'll just share a little presentation that we prepared for you. So here it is. Welcome to the Excel.lab. I am Benedetta Magni and I'm a second year BF student. And I'll let my colleague here introduce.
I'm Maria Mazza, and I'm a second year BF student as well, even though both of us just switched from BM, so like common basis you can do it. And we are super happy to be, we hope to be helpful today with Excel.
And so yeah, we'll start from the very first lessons. So we took a bit of exercises that we thought would be useful for you guys in your exercise workbook. So we'll start from the very basic things and then get a bit faster with, not faster, but a higher level of difficulty. So it's good if you feel comfortable with everything we do. It's actually the best thing that could happen to you because that means that you're ready. So we'll get started. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to stop us. If you want us to redo something, don't hesitate. And we hope it's going to be helpful. So here we go. So this exercise covers the material from sessions 1 and 2. It's called Planet, so we'll read it together.
Wait. On a side note, for the ones that just joined, we're gonna do exercises from the Excel workbook that you should all have. So also the files and texts and whatever you can find those as well there. So if you wanna do it later, or it's gonna be there. Just otherwise you start wondering where we got the data and stuff.
Right. So yes, so this is the first exercises that we're going to go through. So we're going to read it together. The situation is that Marco loves astronomy, and one Sunday afternoon he decides to delve into a study on the planets of the solar system. So to satisfy his curiosity, he decides to perform an online search to see if he can find a table that compares the planet. He manages to download from a specialized website 2 text files containing all the data he needs. So these text files are available with your files of the workbooks. And Marco, who's not very good with computers, asks for your help to process the data he has found. So, first of all, we're asked to import the data contained in the exercise 2.9 into a new file Excel, okay? So, we're gonna do point by point together. So here is a new file Excel that I've just opened. I guess you don't need help to open a file Excel, but anyway, just click the new file. So we're going to import data. So you go on data, get external data. It's a text file. So you just click on here. And here you see that we have both of them. So let's check which one they want us to take. And they want us to take the solar system one first. So we get data, and here you'll have this thing here. So on the first part, you don't have to do anything usually. And then here, you have to find the right separator in order to get the columns that you need. So here, if you're in doubt, you can just try them. You'll see what it looks like, and clearly, it seems like it's a bit better with the first option that you get. So always check that the decimal separator look fine. Here they look fine because it seems like the comma is used for the thousands, so we're good. Remember that if you are following an Italian course, the decimal separator is the comma and the thousand separator is the full stop, whereas for us, international courses, the decimal separator is the point, so the full stop, and the thousand separator is the comma. So then you just go finish. Here, you usually don't need to change anything, and finish, and then they ask you in what worksheet you want to put it, and you just import it. And here you have your data, and they ask to rename it solar system. So double click solar system. In case the double click doesn't work, you just have to right click, and at the same time you'll be able to rename it. Then we are asked to remove all the centigrade degree symbol shown in the last column. So on Mac, it just comes out this way. Usually on Windows, you'll have the degree, but the process is the same. So you just select the column that you want to change. Hold on, there might be something in the chat. Oh yeah, how do we access the file? Again, it's in your workbook. So you select the column that you need, and then with the replace tool, hold on. what is better if you directly select what you want to replace so that you are sure you're not making mistakes. So you just paste here the thing that you want to replace. You don't add anything in replace with, and you do replace all. Why is it not working? Hold on a second. For some weird reason, it's again, so you do this, replace with, replace all. Okay, now it works. I don't know why it didn't work, but now it works, perfect. So, and here, as you see, they've just all gone away. And here they ask you to specify in the column heading that you're talking about degrees. So here you just add between parentheses or the way you want, just so it's indicated that that's the unit of measure of your column. Then they ask you to remove all the question marks shown on the table. So here again, you just select your whole table at this point, and then same way, replace. It's question mark between parentheses. Again, you don't add anything here, replace all, and they're not there anymore. Then remove the days symbol D shown in the planet's orbital column and pay attention to the blanks. Then change the column heading so that it contains the unit of data days. So again, here they want us to take care of this column and not this one. Pay attention because there's the D here too, but we don't want to change this one. So you just select the column again, and you're gonna find and select, replace, and you're gonna replace it with space D because there's a space between the number and the D. So that's what you want to find and take away. And therefore you must be pay very much attention to the space. I mean, it's not a big deal here, but maybe in some exercises it becomes more complicated because then it's no longer a number. I mean, it just gets messy. So if you see that there are spaces, just remove them too. And replace all. Again, you've got all your replacements and your D is gone. And always remember to add in the headings the right name. So yeah, then use the replace command to remove the world planet from all the planet's names. So here again, you select the planet names, find and replace, again, planet, and here too, you see that there's a space between planet and the name of the planet, so you want to remove that too, because if not, you're not going to get all the names aligned, you're going to have a space and then the name, and so you add a space next to the planet when you have to find it, and you replace it with nothing. And again, replace all, and you can see they're all gone. Then, oh, we forgot to do this point here, the delete the planet's inclination of axis column. So here is super easy. You get your column and you just right click, delete, and it's gone. And then again, use the replace command. So if you don't know how to use the replace command after all of this, honestly, we can't do much for you because here we've used it, I think, way enough. So yeah, you use the replace column again to remove the world planets from all the column heading except planets and sun. So again, you select all the column headings. Hold on, because there's the video in the middle, so I'll just move it. And again, find and replace. Planets, this time is plural. Delete the space, and then again, add a space to make sure that all the words are aligned with the beginning of the case. So replace all, and there you go. And this is it. Oh no, you're then asked to sort the table in ascending order with respect to the mean distance from the sun. So you get to the mean distance, you select it. Hold on. Can you give me permission to record? It's already being recorded, so it'll be uploaded. I can't grant you the permission to record because it's you have to be a co-host in order to be able to record, and I can't make you a co-host because I'm not the main host. But don't worry, it's already being recorded and you'll be able to rewatch it after this. No worries. So what was I doing? Yeah. I was sorting the table in ascending order with respect to the mean distance from the sun. So you select what you want to sort and filter. Ascending, so ascending is from smaller to largest. And then they're gonna give you this thingy. So yes, you have to expand the selection because then everything gets sorted and it's sorted. So this is it. And then you're asked to compute the average maximum minimum value of the mean distance from the sun. So we're gonna write it down, average distance, minimum distance, and maximum distance. And here you use the average function, and then, and then you select here and you do your average. Here you use the minimum function. You select the whole thing, and here you do the maximum function. You select again the whole thing, and you're good. Here it's super easy to check if you use the right functions because they're in ascending order. So if this one matches this one, you're good. And if this one matches this one, you're good. So you shouldn't have any problems with this. And this is it for question 1. Any questions so far? I'll try to check on you guys a few times all the time, but if you have questions, don't hesitate to type them. I'll move on anyways, but if you want me to go back to things, just tell me and I'll go back. Okay. So let's go to question 2. So we have to use conditional formatting on the original value of the mean distance, so not the ones that we just computed, and on the values of the equatorial diameter, so that the 2 biggest and 2 smallest values of each of the 2 columns are shown using different colors. Okay, so here is just conditional formatting. So you select the columns that you want to treat. Conditional formatting, you know how this works, new rule, classic. And here it directly gives you the option you need, but anyways, you want to format only the 2 top and the 2 bottom ranked values. So this is the function that you have to use in the conditional formatting. So they want the top 2. We're talking about space. So what color did you want to put? Something like purple, blue, purple, purple, so you can still see the text below. So yeah. And this should give you the 2 top values. So if we are doing it right, it should give you Neptune and Pluto, hopefully. And yeah, it worked. So then we do another one. Since you're already here, I'd suggest to do both of the conditional formatting for the mean distance and then move to the other one afterwards, so that you have no, you don't have to reselect everything again. So again, bottom, you want the 2 bottom values and you choose another color. So we like purplish, so we'll use purple for the space. It looks like space, no? I don't know, I feel like purple is kind of a space color, so. And so this is for the mean distance, and then you do the same thing for the equatorial diameter. So again, you select here, conditional formatting, new rule, classic, top 2. You choose the same color because they specified that they only wanted 2 colors. So again, you get your top 2 like this, and then you rule. Once again, same process, 2, and you want the bottom 2, and you get your same light purple that we used just before. And this is for the conditional formatting. So then insert then the headings details in the first empty column beside the table, and insert a function. So before reading what we want as a function, because I'll forget by the time I get here, write the details column. And so they want a function so that the largest diameter is shown beside the planet with the largest diameter, lowest orbital velocity is shown beside the planet with the lowest orbital velocity, and nothing is shown in all other cases. So this looks pretty much like an if function. Oops, sorry. And so we're gonna try this. Hold on, I already forgot. Largest diameter, lowest orbital velocity. So we're talking about the lowest orbital velocity, that's what we want. So I'll just highlighted so that you know what we're talking about, and the highest diameter, so the largest diameter. So let's say if this one is equal to the maximum between this one and this one. And remember to block them, because when you're going to drag it down, you want to keep them here. You can only block the number because you're going to drag it down, not on the sides, so you don't need to block anything else. Personally, I was never too cautious when I had to take the exam, and so I just blocked everything just to be sure. But you don't need to block everything. So value if true, we said largest diameter. And then if it's not the largest diameter, you just put another if. And we want the minimum of the orbital velocity. So G2 equals minimum of all of this. Again, remember to block it, because then if you drag it down, it's not going to work. And if this is the case, what was the thing that we had to write? Lowest orbital velocity. And if none, nothing. Did I forget some parentheses? No, but I put one more. Yeah, the parentheses are not my friends. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. So for some weird reason, this one didn't work. If this happens, well, it's really easy. You just rewatch all your function really great. So if logical test, so this is your logical test, then largest diameter. If not, then you do another test, and this should work.
Ok, ora è ritornato.
Okay, perfect, because I don't see it, so I just wondered. Okay, so this is it for number 2. Then copy in a new worksheet the names of the planets and the data of their mass, excluding the sun, using the filter. So honestly, here they want you to use the filter, so use the filter, but it would be easier if you didn't use the filter. But anyways, we'll do what they say. So filter, oops, remember you have to select the whole thing to use the filter. So filter, and they want everything but the sun. So you take the sun off, and here, so you copy this in a new worksheet. And what else do they want? So they want to sort the new table in descending order with respect to the value of the mass. So they want the mass. The mass is here. So again, you select the mass and you copy it right next to it. And they want us to sort it in descending order with respect to the value of the mass. So descending is from the highest to the lowest. And there you go. Remember to always save your file, because then if you have a problem with your laptop, it just doesn't work. Then calculate in percentage terms how much the mass of each planet is with respect to the total. So let's call it percentage of total. And this is equal to this one over the sum of all of this with this one too. And remember to block it, because again, you're going to have to drag it down. Now we want it in percentages, so you just select, add the percentage. Here you see that there are a lot of zeros, so you might want to add some decimal points so that you can see. And then they ask us to create a graph, choosing the type of chart that is most adapted to. So here we're talking about a total, so you're going to have 1 in the end, 100%. So usually the best thing to illustrate that is to have a pie chart. So you select both of your columns that you need, and insert that I don't see because there's the video on it. insert and pie chart. So I like the 3D pie chart because it's cool, but then again, you want to do the one that you prefer. And this is it. It does everything by itself. So if you selected the right columns in the right way, you don't even need to add anything. You might want to add, I don't know, labels to see better, but honestly, it's really as you prefer. So here you can see, but it's not the best labels to add because you see they're very, 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 very small columns. So I don't know. Here you see everything, and it's a bit of a mix of the two things. So it's really as you prefer. And yeah, this is it. So, and then we want a new worksheet and import another file called planets. So we're going to do this, planets. We'll just rename this one as graph of mass so that we have an idea of what we're doing. And we have to import another file. So again, same thing from text. And this time we get the planet one. So this one is a bit more tricky because here you see it's weird. And if you use the semicolons, it's also weird. And then the comma doesn't look really good. And then the space. And you see that there are a lot of points. So if you try the points, it looks fine. But again, you see that the comma, that the decimal separator here seems to be the comma. So you don't really like that because we know that we're not supposed to have that. So you have advanced, and here you'll just change the two of them, and then your Excel will automatically, I'm sorry, what's going on in the chat? Where you asked graph?
I'm just answering the questions while you speak, so you don't have to worry about it.
So yeah, the decimal separator here, you see that they use a comma. So you just have to tell Excel that they're using a comma. So you're basically warning Excel that they're not using what Excel thinks they're using. And then Excel would just convert it for you. So when I'll click on OK and I'm finished, I'll have points for the decimal separator. But you have to tell Excel that in your text file, they use commas instead of points. I don't know if that's clear. Maybe I said it a bit confusing, but yeah. And then you just import it, and here you have your thing. All right, so this looks okay. So what do they ask us to do now? Sort the data in the table by the year in which the planet was discovered, then by orbit size, and then by the date in which it was updated. So a lot of sorting. We select the whole table. Just in case, I don't know how to do it on a not Mac laptop, but to select everything without having to drag, if you have a Mac, you just do Command Shift, and then you move with the little arrows, and it will just select everything. So you move on the side, and it selects up to the last part that you have on the side, and then on the bottom with the bottom arrow, it will select up to the last value that you have on the bottom. So here everything is selected, and we are asked to sort it by many things, so not one. So you'll have to do the custom sort thingy. And first of all, we want to sort it by discovery from the, what was it? From oldest to newest. So from smallest to largest, because obviously if it's newer, it will have a higher date. Then you add a level because they want us to sort it by orbit size in descending order. So here you were going to look at orbit size, and you want from largest to smallest because it's descending order. And then one last, it's when they were updated, and they want from newest to oldest. Then you click on OK, and your table should be sorted. And as you can see, all the dates are in the right order. Save, again, always better to save 20 times than never. And then calculate how many planets do not have the inclination value and how many planets do not have the orbit size. So we'll just position a bit further here so that you can see. So no inclination and no orbit size. So here you're lucky, it's pretty easy. all you have to do is count where there's nothing written. So there's a function for that, which is count blank. So we'll do the count blank here. And again, so here you cannot use the trick that I just told you about, simply because there are the blanks and the trick that I told you about stops with the blanks. So here you have to go down, 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 and select up until the end. Check that it's the last one, and then count blank. And then for no orbit size, you do the same thing, count blank, orbit size, you go down, clicking on shift, and get there, takes ages, but there we are. And there you go. So here you have your counts, and you know how many values have no inclination and how many values have no orbit size. Okay, and this is it for question 4. Is it clear? Okay, I'll take that as a yes. So again, within the same worksheet, in the new column of the planets worksheet with heading revolution, we use a function that returns a result. Value above average for planet with revolution period greater than the average of the revolution period of all the planets, and a blank cell for all other planets. So we'll add our revolution column, and then we'll check again what they ask. They want us to display the message value above the average for planets with revolution period greater than the average of the revolution periods. So again, it's a Nif function. I hope this one will work. So what do they want again? The period column. So here, and if it's greater than the average, from here, I'm gonna make it. It's gonna take a while, but I'll get down. Here I am. Again, remember to block it. I'm not gonna say this enough, but I say it because if I don't say it, I forget to block it. So, and we have to write value above the average. And nothing if it's okay. So here, apparently, it's not above the average. We will drag it down, and it seems to work. There are value above the average. So yeah, then you can adjust the size, and then in a new column with the heading comparison, use a function that returns as a result similar to Earth for the planet with a revolution period between 300 and 400, and a mass between 0 and 0.1 and 1. So there's already an end. So there's an end. It should put you in the way that you might have to use an end. So they ask us to call it comparison. And then again, it's a Nif function. And then we have our end. Because we want that the revolution period has to be between 300 and 450. So revolution period, here it is. It has to be greater than 300 and lower than, my memory is just terrible, 450. And we want the mass to be between 0.01 and 1. So here has to be greater than 0.01 and lower than 1. So if this is true, then we have to display similar to Earth. And if this is not true, then nothing. So clearly, what is it? HD 114.762b is not similar to Earth. Now that you know this, I'm sure you'll be happier in your life. But Marco, who is passionate about astronomy, he will be so much happier. So then you drag it down again. Oops, drag it too much. And there you go. Okay, so there's only one similar to Earth. Cool. Yes, so then you're asked to apply the proper formatting. We're not going to do this because simply it's too much time, and I'm sure that's probably the part that you prefer in Excel, the making things pretty part. So I leave room to Maria for the next exercise, and I'll see you when she's done for another one.
Okay, guys, if you don't have any other questions on this exercise, we can move on. Sorry for my voice, it's a bit weird, I know. And so, oops, share the screen, okay. We're gonna do exercise 4.9, called Photo Magic. Is a summary exercise as the others. So we'll briefly go through the text and then start working on it. So, quindi si vede tutto giusto? Sì. Okay. The photo gear shop Photo Magic proposes its customer a series of offers in order to increase the sales of digital cameras. Apart from the competitive prices on novelties and top models of different brands, the sales department wants to insert some less recent products in the monthly leaflet, with the double aim of reducing stock in the warehouse and sell out the stock of discontinued products. Every month, less recent products in the warehouse are analyzed, and some are chosen to be included in the leaflet of the upcoming month. Well, the management in the warehouse worksheet within this exercise, you have the list of the less recent products found in the warehouse at the moment. Each one with the following information: brand and model, number of megapixels, dimension of the LCD screen, optical zoom and weight, list price, cost incurred to buy the product from the supplier, quantity available in the warehouse. Okay, so we open the exercise. Oops, this one. Okay, so this is the text of the file of the exercise. And the first question we have is, list in the first column of a new worksheet named Statistics the name of all the manufacturer present in the brand column of the warehouse worksheet, keeping only the unique values and eliminating any duplicates. Okay, so we start from this. First of all, before creating, okay, we create a new sheet called Statistics. And we copy the whole column called brand and paste it here. Now what we're gonna do is to go on data and do the remove duplicates command. In this way, exactly like 39 duplicates are getting removed, we will have only the name of the brands one time, and we can now work on this. What do we have to do after? In a new column with the heading number of model, calculate using the appropriate function the number of models available in the warehouse for each brand in the list. So to do this, number of models, we will use the countif function. So we have to count how many models of each brand are present in the warehouse spreadsheet. Okay, so we use the countif function in the following way. We tell to Excel count how many times the value Samsung is found in the column with all the brands. Okay, so the range is from here to the end. So we are telling Excel to look for the value in this range, and then we go back to the statistic worksheet. The criteria is this should be warehouse. The criteria we want to apply is that it's equal to the brand name. Okay, so we select Samsung. Before dragging down the function for all the values here, we have to block these values in order not for the column to shift down as we drag down the function. I'm sure done relative and absolute cells. So we block this cell in an absolute way. Okay. And now, by simply double clicking here, we make it work for all the other brands. Then it says, still within the statistics worksheet, copy and keep the unique values of the LCD screen column of the warehouse worksheet. Okay, so we do the same as before. We go to warehouse worksheet and copy the whole LCD screen column. And we can paste it here. And by using the same command as before in data, we remove duplicate. Okay. So this is done. And calculate using a function in a new column with the heading number of models LCD, number of models available in the warehouse for each dimension of LCD screen available in the list. So exactly as before, it was for brands. Avoid confusion. Now we do it for LCD screens. Okay. I'm sorry, but I have to format some cells, otherwise I can't go on working. Okay, and we have the same function as before, count if. So we select as range the LCD screen column from the warehouse spreadsheet. And then we go back to statistics and we select like the criteria we want for Excel to put. And this is it. And we will block the cells as before, so we can drag the formula down without having changes.
Your voice is kind of coming and going.
Benny?
Yeah. Yeah, now I hear you. I mean, I did hear you say that. Yeah. I hear you.
Benny?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, sorry. It's not working.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
I hear you well.
Okay, I think like the headphones were like anyway. Okay, let's go on. So to compute the number of models, we simply drag down the functions before in this way, and we have all of them here. So first point is done, I would say. We can go on with the second one. So using just one formula, calculating the cell H53 of the warehouse worksheet, the total cost sustained by PhotoMagic to acquire all the models present in the list, considering the unitary cost and the quantity available in the warehouse. So go here in cell H53, it's down there. But to understand what we have to do to compute the total cost, we will compute the sum of the acquisition cost times the quantity bought from the company. Oh. Okay, thanks, Benny, for answering the chat. So down here, we can use the sum product function, okay? And how do we use it? We have to select, first of all, so the array 1 is the first column we want to analyze. And the array 2 will be the column for which the first column is multiplied, okay? So, for example, if I select this, and then just this cell, I will have the product of H51 times I51, okay? But if I select like these three cells, I will have the product between this cell and this, this cell and this cell. I will have the product of this cell times this one, plus this cell times this one, plus this cell times this one. So the cost that the firm sustain, we do the same things for all these cells. So acquisition cost, and then we select the quantity. And this way we obtain the quantity of each product multiplied by its acquisition cost. And so we have this lovely number. I can put the currency here, just, okay, which is the total cost that Photomagic had. Okay, now the next question is, format therefore the cells of the model column so that a red font color will be applied automatically to the names of the models for which more than 6,500 euro was spent. Consider the total cost for each model given by the acquisition cost multiplied by the quantity available. Okay, so to do this, first of all, we can create a new column just so that it's easier and better for us with total costs for brand. Okay, and here we can compute, we simply compute the acquisition cost times the quantity we have and apply the same function to the whole column. And now we have to do the conditional formatting. So what do? We select the model column. Remember that when you do conditional formatting, you never select the header. Otherwise, all the results will be like wrong from one position. So if we were supposed to have this one in red, we will have this one or this one because we selected also the other. So remember not to do it. So we select the whole column and say apply conditional formatting, new rule. And we create a personalized formula. So we use our own. And we say format values where this formula is true. So where, for example, this cell is greater than 6,500. Now pay attention because we don't want this one to be blocked. And now we format in the way we want. So like red font and bold. Okay, so let's hope it works. Exactly. Okay. So these are the models for which we had like costs, like total cost greater than 6,500 euros. Okay, moving to the third point, unless there are questions, just please like either simply turn on your microphone or do it in the chat and I'm sure many will answer. Third point. Okay, so calculating a new column of the warehouse worksheet with the header margin percentage, the revenue margin in percentage for each product available in the list. The difference between the list price and the acquisition cost in percentage terms. Okay, so we create a new column, margin. Okay, and we were told to use this formula, acquisition cost less list price in terms of list price. So, you know, when like you divide again, you get the percentage terms in like with respect to the denominator term. Okay, so in this case, this price. Okay, so this is, we can make it in percentage using this symbol in like in Excel, and then we apply it to the whole column. I'm not sure it's supposed to be so negative, but okay, this is why. Because we had to do list price minus acquisition cost over list price. Okay. So they are all positive. Okay. Now we have to insert a new column with the header discount percentage, a function that gives, I'm sorry, I got lost. Okay. A function that gives as a result for each product the percentage of discount that Photomagic intends to apply on the list price, calculated as follows. So 8% discount if the margin just calculated is less than or equal to 10%. 15% if the margin is between 10 and 20%. 25% if the margin is greater than or equal to 20%. Okay, so now we will use like a nested if function in order to cover the like these three conditions. Remember that when you do the, like when you, for example, when you have three conditions, but you want to use a nested function, you just need two functions. Like if you have 5 conditions, you need 4 functions and so on. And now I'll show you why, because first of all, we create the column. I'm sorry. Okay, so we create the function in this way. So if the first condition we want to satisfy is that if the margin is below 10%, then we write 8% for discount. So we will say if this margin is below or equal 10%, now we have to sorry, value if true. So what we want Excel to show is 8%. Value if false. So to do this, we will use another if function inside this one. But we will start from the other, let's say, extreme condition, because it's easier to write the function like doing when it's below this one and above this one, and leaving the middle case, so when it's between 10 and 20%, as the, let's say, residual case, okay? So we say to Excel, if it's below 10%, write 8%, which is the value if true. Else, so if this condition is not satisfied, if it's above 20%, write 25%, which is the value if true in the second case. And else, this else will include what is not, like all the cases that are not less than 10% and above 20%. I hope it's kind of clear as an explanation. Okay, so value false, we write another if function. So if this one, like this cell, is greater than 20%, greater or equal, then write 25%. Else, write 15%. Okay, I hope it's gonna work. Finger crossed. Okay, so in this case, 19% is between 10 and 20, so we have 15% as discount. You can put it in percentage terms and apply it to the whole column. See, there's a question. Oops, it's just Benny. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, guys. My Excel is kinda in Italian. I mean, like the functions are in English, but the whole system is in Italian. So this is why I use like semicolon like all the times. But if you have like 100% English computer, like system and Excel, remember to always use the comma. Okay, so we did this, and we can go on to question number 4, if there are no questions from you. Okay. The sales department wants now to classify the promotional products to be put on the leaflet in 3 categories. In a new column in the warehouse worksheet with the header offers, insert a function which gives as a result. Until stocks last, when the discounted price of the product, applying to the list price the percentage of discount just calculated, is greater than the acquisition cost and the quantity available in the warehouse is less than 25. Super offer when the discounted price of the product is greater than acquisition cost and the quantity present in the warehouse is greater than or equal to 25. Underpriced and the discounted price of the product is less than or equal to the acquisition cost. Okay. If I do it this way, maybe I can. Okay. I think you can see both now. It's not very, okay. Okay, so we create a new column with offers. Okay, and now we have to reason on what we are asked. So we have to consider that there are three conditions. So until stocks last, super offer or underpriced, that all have to do with discounted price and quantity that like we have in the warehouse, okay? So if the discounted price is greater than the acquisition cost and the quantity available in the warehouse is less than 25, we have until stocks last. So we start using the if function. It's going to be an SLP function as before. So if, and we use also a ENG function because in this case we have to satisfy two conditions. So discounted price greater than acquisition cost and quantity available less than 25. So the first condition is that the discounted price is greater than the acquisition cost. To compute the discounted price, we select the list price times 1 minus the discount factor, okay? So this is gonna be the discounted price. And we say that it should be greater than the acquisition cost. And this is the first condition. The second condition we have to satisfy with the end is that the quantity is below 25, less than 25. So we close the end function, and now there's an extra parenthesis, okay? The value if true, so if these two conditions are satisfied, we will have until stocks last. Okay. Else, so in case this like at least one of these two conditions is not satisfied, we do another if function. Like as I told you before, when we have three conditions, we need at least two if, like we need two if functions. So if the discounted price of the product is greater than the acquisition cost and the quantity is greater than 25, we have super offer. So as before, and the discounted price, so this time minus my discounted product. Okay, if this is greater than the acquisition cost and second parameter we want to check, the quantity is greater than 25, we will have, we close the end, we will have value if true, super offer. And then we will say value if false. So in all the other cases, so when the discounted price of the product is less than or equal to the acquisition cost, we will have under price. Okay. Oh no. Okay. Let me check what's wrong here. I'm not super sure what's the problem here, I have to say. After and there are two parentheses. Yeah, like here, but I put it just to like, okay, we can try to delete it, but I guess they were like functional, kind of. Oh, okay, thank you very much. I fit it. You said it's greater than the acquisition cost, but this is the condition. So discounted price is greater than the acquisition cost, and but like so what changes the equation here is that not the discounted price of the product is greater than the acquisition cost, but the quantity. Okay, so here is less than 25 and here is more than 25. Okay, so thank you so much, Laura. And okay, so now we apply the functions, all the others. And here we go. Last point of this exercise is calculate in the statistics worksheet for each brand the average quantity of the product in the warehouse and the average discount factor. Okay, so we go back to the statistic worksheet. Okay, we can move this to average discount factor, average quantity, and average discount factor. Okay, so okay, we will just have everything. Oops, it doesn't matter. I just wanted to have it more clear, but I guess it's okay. So we compute the okay. So I'm sorry, guys, I'm a bit tired. Okay, so we use the average function, and as before, we have to select a range, a criteria, and the average range. So basically, we are asked to compute the average quantity of products and average discount. So we go back to the warehouse worksheet, okay. We select, as before, the brand. We go back to statistics and we say like the criteria should be the brand. And only at the end, we select the average range. The average range in this, like in this case, is the quantity column in the warehouse spreadsheet, okay? So this is the formula we use. I hope it's clear. So as before, like before we used the countif function and it was like, in the whole range, count how many times you find the Samsung, Canon, and so on, the brand name. Now we do the same, but we add the last condition, which is the average range, which is the range of the values that have to be of which we want to know the average. Before dragging down the function, we have to block the columns. So and we do it also for the other one. Okay. And there we go. We can have, I think, better numbers in this way. Okay. And to compute the average discount, we do the exactly same thing. So average if function, the range before is the brand, the warehouse spreadsheet. So we can block them now directly. Then in the statistics, we select the name. And then the average range is the discount one, I mean discount column. So we select this one. We block the cells. And we have it. We put it in percentage terms. And this is done. Okay. Yeah. You can also only lock the rows. Don't worry. It's just, I don't know. I always do it just to be sure, but the rows are okay as well. Okay. And so we did the first part. Then sort this table in a descending order according to the number of models. If the number of models is equal, sort in a descending order according to the average quantity. Okay, so this is kind of easy. We start with the models and we say sort descending order, so largest to smallest. Oops. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. Okay. I really don't know why isn't it working, to be honest, because it's select the whole column. Yeah, but I did it before. I accept the adding. You see, well, I don't really know, but it's not like, I mean, I guess there's maybe like it happened to me once and it was something with the formulas I put in. I don't remember as well, like very well. But like this is okay. Like to sort, you simply go here, like select the column, go here, and you can have like sort smallest to largest or vice versa. So, and in case you have to do it like twice for like in case you have equal numbers and they say to do it twice, you do it first for one column and then another time for the second column, and they will adjust in the right way. And then we have to create a chart that represents at the same time the average quantity and the average discount. So the average quantity on the column chart, okay, so we start with this one. We select the column and say do insert column chart, like this one is okay. And then to add the other, like the average discount as secondary axis, we do change chart type, combo. Okay, we have to, sorry, first we have to select also the other row. So we do add average discount. Okay. And then we do change chart type, combo, and we put the discount on the secondary axis. Like this. Now we can't see because I guess the data. Here we put this. Okay, I'll do it from the beginning because I am messing up, I think. So you select this one, the two columns. Insert this one, and then we do change chart type, combo, okay. And this one, okay, there we go, as secondary axis. And then, of course, you can change the title and the colors and everything as you prefer, out of clarity, but the main things. Okay. And I think we finished this exercise because then they say, okay, yeah, just formatting and stuff. Okay. So this is it. I hope it was kind of clear. I'm sorry for the problem with like sorting and formula, but like you can say I'm a bit out of practice with Excel, but I hope it was kind of clear. Okay, so Benny, you can go on with the third exercise.
Hi, it's me again. Thank you, Maria. So we'll move on to our next exercise. So again, there we go. No, yeah. So here. Exercise 5.9. So this is the last exercise, one of the summary exercises of session 5. Obviously, the more you move on with session, the more it covers what you did before. So here you'll probably be asked about things of the first sessions as well. But yeah, it's good to practice everything anyways. So you've been hired as a data analyst at New York Fashion Incorporated, one of the most dynamic companies in the US fashion industry. Sounds cool. Considering excellent background of studies, the retail manager asks for your support on some elaborations that he has to run on performances related to a specific store that is experiencing some issues. Data about last year have been collected in an Excel file named Greenwich Village. And yeah, so we have to open the file. So it's already here. If you haven't opened it, sorry, do the combo chart and adding a secondary axis give the same graph as result. Maria, I'll let you answer the questions in the chat so that I move on with the exercises, because if not, we'll not be able to finish on time. But
Sure.
I will answer to you. So it's open here. If you want to open it again, it's in your worksheet, in your work files for Excel. We're asked in the sales worksheet to create a new column with heading pieces to reorder, in which it should be possible to enter per each model the number of pieces needed to integrate the stock. And we have to make sure that only integer numbers between 1 and 100 inclusive can be entered. In case of invalid entries, a warning message with title "Attention" and text "The value entered is not valid, it's possible to reorder" should be shown. So this is data validation. So personally, I don't know why I love this, but I love this. So here, I'll just format. So what you have to do is, oops, not this. God, I'm far below. Just do it. So what you have to do is select the whole thing, and then you go in. I need to move the toolbar of Zoom because I can't see. You go in data, and then data validation again. And here you have the validation criteria. So we said that they wanted only integer numbers. So here they are called whole numbers, and they wanted between 1 and 100. So just so you know, usually when you write minimum and maximum, they are included. But in case during the exam you panic and you have doubts, I'll show you right when I write this, right after, I'll just show you how to check. Super easy. So attention, what was it? The value entered is not valid, it's possible to reorder maximum. Okay. The value you entered is not valid, to reorder only 100 pieces. I don't know exactly what was written. When you're in the exam, check that it's exactly what is written, but here it's okay. So check if it works. So here already, I don't know why it happened, but it doesn't work. So cool. So here, if you want to check if you really included 1 and 100, super easy. You type 1, you type 100, okay? And then check if it works. 123. Attention, the value you entered is not valid. It's possible to reorder only 100 pieces. Sounds good. So then you have your data validation that is done. And we're done for point 1, which was pretty quick. So now we have to create a worksheet to be named calculations. So first of all, create the worksheet named calculation. What are we going to have to do in this worksheet? Let's see. We have to list all the categories available in the table of sales worksheet, and each single category should be listed just one time. So as Maria perfectly showed us just before, you select your column, you copy your column, and you paste it, and then you go on remove duplicates, And now they're showing only once the categories that you need. So then use therefore the list just created to edit a table with two columns, one with a heading category, which is the one we just placed in, and one with a heading total pieces made in USA sold, and calculate the total amount of pieces made in USA sold per each category. So here we want to write total pieces, not pieces made in the USA sold. This is huge. Oops. And so now what we want to do is we have to compute the total pieces only for the ones made in the USA and sold. So what we have to do here is to use a sum ifs. So first of all, we're asked to look at the sum range. So the sum range is simply the pieces sold that are the ones that you have to how is it called, to select, because you have to sum the total in the end, and here you block the rows. And then first of all, there's a criteria range number 1, so you can put the one you prefer first. So I'll put this one, but if you put the other one, it's not a big deal. So again, here you have to block it and block it, and the criteria that we want is made in USA. Remember to be careful not to add additional spaces, additional weird stuff here, because it's not going to work if it's not exactly what's written here. And then the other criteria, it has to be equal. So we are looking at the categories here that we have to block again. And they need to be the same as our category here. So they probably told you this in class, just remove the calculation thing. So apparently it causes your Excel to bug a little, no big deal. I mean, it just happens. And I mean, I tried once to leave it, nothing happens, my Excel is still alive, but just don't do it because they tell you not to do it. And here, apparently there's none. So we'll just make it work. And you might be scared if you get 0 in the first one because you're like, oh God, I did something wrong. Why is it 0? But then you get some numbers. So, you know, maybe they just don't have sport bags and totes sold made in the USA. Yeah, so this is it for point 2. So we're asked to create a new worksheet named pivot table based on the data available in sales worksheet to show the total sales of the year per category and per area of production. So first of all, we create the pivot table and then we take care of what they ask us to show. So we create a new worksheet, pivot table. So here I create the new worksheet first, but you don't need to do that. Like you can simply first create the pivot table and then put it in a new worksheet. So create a new worksheet after. So for example, here, if you write new worksheet, well, you can just create a new worksheet and put the pivot table in it. And if you just do the existing worksheet, I just wanted to show you how it works. You go in your worksheet and you select the case where it has to start, click on enter, and there you go. So what they wanted us to do was to, based on data available in sales, to show the total sales of the year. So we go step by step. Total sales of the year, so the sales, we'll put it here, and they want the total, so the sum of sales sounds pretty good. And they want it by category and area of production. So we'll just read a bit through the end because maybe they'll give us a bit of idea of what to put in the x-axis and what to put in the y-axis. So here production is column labels and category is row labels. So we're gonna assume that that's what they want. So categories and production area, which is production. So here you have your pivot table. On my Excel, it does the graph automatically. It doesn't do it for everybody, so I'll show you how to do it later when we get there. but it's super easy. So, and they ask us to rename the column and row labels in order to read production and category. So that's pretty straightforward, just category and then production. And so they want you to do the graph. So for that, pivot chart, and you just click on it and it gives you the chart. Here we already had one for some weird reason, but it's super easy. You just really have to click on pivot chart. And you'll see that if you change the values, your pivot chart just automatically updates. So according to what you put in it, it's gonna update. So yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of this one simply because 2 is okay. And this is it for point 3. Okay, point 4 is probably your, mine, and everybody else's worst nightmare. They want the ID model of our product. So this is really not cool because you have to do a very long function and you're scared that it's not going to work. ID model, but you got to go through that. So we'll try to go through that together. So what do they ask us here? We'll go step by step. So they want the first 2 characters of the model name, and here they say uppercase. So in order to make it easier for you, you kind of want to see if they ask for uppercase all the time or not. And here they ask for uppercase up until the last part, which doesn't seem very related to what it's above, although it's part of the same function. So you might want to think, okay, should I just put upper first so that I don't have to rewrite it 20 times? And the answer is yes, you're thinking it right. So we'll go with an upper first. And now, what are we going to do? There's a lot of things here. So we have to concatenate them in order to get our model name. And now you want to cry. And so they want the first 2 characters of the model name. So left, and this is okay. Why left? Because left is the beginning of the thing. And then they want the model name. And here Excel is really nice, so they are telling you what to do. Number of characters, they asked for 2. So for now, we're alive. Is it? Yeah. Then the last character of the model name. So here we just need to do right. And again, simply, and you add the number of characters, you only want 1. Then a slash, so just remember you have to put it between speech marks. So here it is. The first 2 characters of the category name, so again, exactly the same as we did for the left here, we do the same, left, category name, and 2 characters, and then a dash. Okay, a dash, that sounds fine. And then what do they want? They want the first 2 letters of the country of production, not considering the string made in. And at that point, you're there like, are you kidding me? Like, seriously, do you really need to do this? And yeah, you really need to do this. And you have to use the mid function because you're gonna get something that is nor at the beginning nor at the end of your string text. And so you're there. And here, how am I gonna get the 2 first letters of my country? They want the 2 first, yes? Yes, they want the 2 first letters. So how am I gonna do that? Well, you have to count the start number. So the first letter that you want your mid function to pick. So there's M-A-D-E space I-N space. So the first character that you want your function mid to take is the 9th character. And you want 2 characters. So you want the C and the H for China, for example. Here you're lucky because made in is the same everywhere. So cool, you don't have to do any other complicated stuff. And then there is, if I'm remembering correctly, an underscore. Yes. Then, because it wasn't long enough, we want something else. So here, when you studied it in class, if everything went well, your professor probably told you that there are two ways to concatenate. There is the concatenate function, or you can use the symbol end. So like MNA, the end symbol. And that concatenates the next thing. So here you have a Nif function, a nested if function actually. So you have to display the word low in case the retail price is lower than $25 US, mid in case the price is between $25 and $40 inclusive, and high in case the price is higher than $40 US. So here again, the word should be in lowercase, so that's why we paid very much attention to close the beginning parenthesis that goes with the upper one here. So just so you see, if you select the parenthesis, it tells you what you're closing. So that's a cool tool when you get confused, if you are not sure what you're doing. So we're gonna do our if function, and if. And now we're going to use exactly what Maria taught us in the previous exercise. So we're going to disregard the mid case because it's the longest right simply. So we have to see if it's lower than 25 euros. So the retail price has to be lower than 25 US dollars. So if this is true, then you display low. If this is not true, there's another if. So if the same retail price is this time strictly higher than 40 US dollars, then at that point you will display high. Then, in the hope it works, if none of these two things are true, so if the price is not lower than 25 and it's not greater than 40, it must be between 25 and 40, and that's the condition that we skipped, and that would be mid. So now it seems like we have done all that we had to do, and now we just pray that it works when I click on enter. I know there's a parenthesis. Now we've done everything that we should have done, and well, okay, thanks God it works. So now you just drag it down or double click, and you get all your ID model numbers. And this is it for question 4. Is it okay? Should you add lower before if? Well, in our case, you don't need it because I closed the upper one here. So given that I tell them to write it in lower cases, there's no need. Like, you can do it, but it's not going to change your final result, because here my result will be in lower cases because that's the way I indicated it. If, on the other hand, you had kept the upper thing open until the end, then at that point you would need to add a lower here. But honestly, if you close it first, I think it's a bit better. So you just can I zoom in? Yes, sorry. Wait, how do I zoom in on the formula? Can I zoom in on the formula? Is this what you wanted to see? And so hold on. So yeah, the thing is, yes, they ask for lowercase, but here you're already giving them in lowercase. So maybe you're asking me because in the correction they do use the lower function, but I'm pretty sure they don't close the upper function here and they close it at the end. So that's also something doable. But personally, I'm the kind of person that tries to use as little functions as possible, just because I always forget parentheses. And given that I always forget parentheses, you don't really want to, kill the whole thing because you forgot a parenthesis in the meantime. So I just go with the more straightforward one. But anyways, if you had done lower here and closed the upper at the end, it would have worked exactly the same. So yeah, this is it. And then question 5, the IT department has a concern regarding the length of certain names in the model field that might be truncated by the new software in use to manage the source. You're therefore asked to highlight with a light blue background color those names that are longer than 25 characters. So we're gonna go on our names and we're gonna use a conditional formatting, new rule, and here we're gonna use a formula. So that's what Maria did before too. and this is equal to length. So you want to use the length function because it has to be lower than 25. So if it's greater than 25, then you want it to be then you want it to be highlighted in light blue. So they like light blue, so we'll get them light blue. Here it looks like light blue, and it hopefully works. It does. And this is it for this problem. So I hope it was clear. There is a question in the chat. Going back to what I said earlier about ifs, would this work? Okay, I'll let Maria start her exercise and I'll exactly copy and paste yours in the thing. And if it works, then I mean, that's another way to do it. And if it doesn't, I'll tell you. So I'll try to put it in my other Excel and I'll see if it works and I'll get back to you just as soon as I pass the word to Maria. Okay? And yeah, you can go.
Okay, guys, I mean, first of all, we would like to ask you if it's okay that we do another exercise, because theoretically we were supposed to finish now, but like we were a bit slower than expected. So if it's okay for you and you find this interesting, we can do another exercise. Otherwise, like, you can decide. I mean, we are here for you. Okay. Okay, sure, why not? Okay, perfect. Let's go then. Okay, yes, to share the screen. Okay, so we have this exercise number 6.10 called stationery. So like we prepared this exercise, there is a concatenate function, kinda, we have to do, but also something with dates. So it should be a bit, you know, comprehensive of several topics. Okay, great. So the company that you work for entrusts you with the creation of a report system showing the turnover performance for its products. So in this exercise, we have catalog worksheet with the products list, March sales with the details of orders, online sales, and supplier discount rates. Okay, so first of all, we have to create okay, let me adjust these things a bit so we have more room. Okay. Okay, so first of all, we have to create a new product ID in the new column of catalog worksheet. So new ID, in which we have to use the following. So all capital letters. So we start with after. Then we will use a concatenate function because we see that we have to put together several things. Okay, so concatenate function, and we will have the old product ID. So in this case, we will simply select the cell. Then a slash. So this is simple. Remember, when you use this concatenate function, that is it only for text. So if you simply add the slash without these tiny signs, I don't know the name in English, I'm sorry guys, it won't work. Okay, so remember to add these to make Excel reading the slash as a text thing. Then the first and the last characters of the type of item. Okay, so item, this is like in C2, we can see an item name. So we will, to put the first character, we will use the left function and select this one. We won't put number, like the number of characters, because it's just the first one. So it's already like given. If we don't put it, it will be for one letter only, so it's fine, it's okay for us. And then we will do the same for the last letter. So right item, same thing as before. We don't need to specify the number of characters because we just want one. Then we will have another slash. As before, I put the semicolon because I have the half of the system in Italian, so this is the reason why. But if you have everything in English, use the commas. So another slash, and then the first character of the second word of the item name. Okay. So to do this, we use the like Nif function, and then in between the search function, so that we can find the because we want the first letter of the second word. So we tell Excel to look for the space in this text, and then to add a character, because we want the first letter after the space. Okay, okay. And then, no, wait, like this, probably. Search this and this, okay. So we will select one, because Nif function, we need to specify the number of characters, and this is it. Oh, here we go again. As Benedetta said, we tend to have problems with parentheses. Okay, I'm missing one. So let me check left, right. I guess there is an extra parenthesis here. Find text is in this. Okay, let's try this way. So the one at the end would be because in the mid function, we are requested to specify the number of characters we want to get. So this is simply that one, but probably it should be inside this one, like this. So plus one. Okay, probably like this, it's gonna work. Okay, this is it. Okay, and now we drag it down for all the other products. This was done. Then, okay, in a new column, so in a new column of the online sales, after shipment date and time, with the heading day, okay, calculate using a function the day of the week related to each sale date. Make sure that each day is shown with the full name. Okay, so basically we go to online sales, we add day column. Okay, and to compute the like the day of the week we simply use the weekday function. Okay, selecting this shipment date and time. In this way, with the return type, this is not mandatory, you can also not use it, but the return type simply allows you to choose if you want to start the week from Sunday to Saturday or Monday to Sunday or whatever. So I usually do Monday, Sunday, so I put a 2.
Okay.
Is there anyone talking? Just, I mean, it's not a problem, but if you have questions and want to talk, I'm good. Okay. So we have these, we obtained that it's a 6, so it should be a Saturday, but we were asked to display the day as with the full form. Okay, so to do this, we go to more format, custom, and here we can do the this DDD, which stands for day. Oh, sorry, GGG, because I'm doing it in Italian. But if you have English Excel, you're gonna write DDD, and this is a way, if you just do with double G, you will have the number, the number of the week we are referring to. If you put 3, we will have the short form of the day, so to spend. If you do 4 Gs, you will have the whole name displayed. Okay, so we simply apply it for all the others. It's in Italian. I know, I'm sorry, I didn't switch the language, but I think it's, I don't think it's a problem. Okay. Okay, so question 2. In a new worksheet named Pivot, insert a pivot table based on the online sales worksheet so that it will be possible to compare the quantity sold online, both by item and by sale date and time. Okay, so first of all, it's for online sales. Okay, so we select this, we select the data. We do insert pivot table. Okay, and we can say, since we were asked to do it in a new worksheet, we can simply say okay to this pre-existing condition. Okay, so okay, and this is the new worksheet. So we call it pivot. Okay, and we were asked to show item and sale date and time. So we can put items in columns and sale date and time in rows. Okay, but we have to do the following. So sale time should be grouped by hour. Okay, so in this way, we can simply put we select this column without the heading, and then say group by hours. So we select only this one. Okay, then we have to set the day field as filter. So we simply get day from here and drag it in the filter section. And then we have to show only those products whose names end with block notes. So we select here the whole row, right click and filter, label filter, and we select, there should be ends with, okay, block notes. So we only have, these products ending with block notes. I'm just gonna check this out. How did I group by hour? Okay, to group in general, this is the general rule. You select the column you're interested in without the final part and without the header. Right click, group, and decide between the options you have, if you want hours, days, months, whatever, or you can also have custom grouping, saying from 5 to 10, 10 to 15, and so on. Okay, so this is the table, and as values, we want the quantities, I think. Okay, so we simply drag here, and this is it. This is the pivot table. And remember that, like, if you want to do things well, you can like rename this one and this one. You can apply filters. Like in pivot tables, you can really do a lot. So, I mean, they are very powerful instruments. So I would recommend you learn how to use them well. Okay, question number 3. In the discounts worksheet, okay. Sorry. So in the discount worksheet,
Maria,
give me.
I can't really answer to this one because could you please repeat the block notes thing?
You mean, I'm sorry, I didn't read the chat. You mean how did I filter with the block note name? I guess. Okay. So basically what you have to do is you select the column you want in general, then right click, and you have several like options for filter. Okay. So now, okay, we can say delete filter. Okay. So we do it from the beginning. Select the whole row with the products, then right click, filter, and you go with label filters because here we just have the name of the products. Okay, so we don't have numbers or values, we just go with the labels. And there are several options here you can choose from. We pick the one ends with, okay, because this is what we're told. So filter the products that ends with block notes, okay. So ends with block notes, okay, and this is like when you apply it, we just have this 6 items with the block notes. Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm sorry if I'm like a bit fast or like messy. I'm just a bit tired, so maybe this is why. Okay, so now okay, this did it. Okay, in the discount worksheet, so this one. You can find a small table prepared to insert the discount rates that will be communicated later on by each supplier. You have to prepare all the cells in column B of the table, excluding the header, so that next to each supplier, it is possible to enter the discount percentage that it will be communicated as a decimal value between 0 and 1. The insertion of other values must be prevented, and in case of an inconsistent entry, an error message with the title warning and text, the value must be blah, 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 must be shown. Okay. So to do this, we select the 3 cells that we are interested in, and we go on data. It's a data validation thing, okay? So exactly, we click this one, data validation, and we say allow decimal numbers between 0 and 1, because this is what we were asked here in the text. And in case of error, we are told to show a warning sign with the text, the value must be between what was it? 0% and 100%. Okay. Okay, I guess this is it. Let's see if it works. So if we put like, we can apply the percentage form so that like when I write, for example, 0 is, okay, if I write this, it's already, so if I write 3% is accepted because Excel knows it's like 3 over 100. So it's between 0 and 1. But if I like write 100, blah, 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 okay, we get the warning message. And so we know we did it well, like it's correct. Okay, so this was point 3. 4. The company asks you to perform specific analysis on product sales in March. In a new column of the March sales worksheet with the heading turnover, calculate the turnover for each order issued. Okay, so let's go to March sales. Turnover in this case is simply the quantity bought times the final price. Like how much did we spend for each product, basically, okay? Then use an Excel function to calculate in the same worksheet the total revenue for each type of product, considering only the sales carried out in the first 10 days of the month. Okay, so to do this, we compute, let's say sales. Oh, sorry. Okay, so we can use like simply a Nif function. So if we want, I'm sorry guys, I'm super tired. In the same worksheet, the total revenue for each type of product, considering only the sale in the first 10 days of the month. So we can say, okay, we can do a different thing. Sales and sum if. So we sum the turnover one after the other, only if the date was like between the 1st and the 10th of March, okay? So if the range of the criteria, which is the dates one. Okay, no, some ifs because we need to answer. I'm sorry, I'm confusing you maybe, but okay, so sum if and so we say sum if and is because we want a double condition, okay? So that the sale happened from the 1st of March to the 10th maximum, okay? So, and like two conditions must be valid, so that the date is greater or equal 01 March 2016, and that the date is smaller or equal than 10th of March 2016. Okay, in this case, if these two conditions are satisfied, then why is this? Okay, guys, I'm sorry, I'm messing up. So the range we want to sum is the one in the turnover. We have to do it first like this. Okay. The criteria is the one we want. No. So this is a, okay. Range criteria, so it's the one of the dates. Because we want to check dates first. Then we have the criteria range. And then at the end, I really don't know why like it's working, but then it's like before as well. We should have. Okay, there we go. Finally, thank you so much. So range, criteria, and then sum range. The sum range is the in the turnover. Okay. So. I guess I'm messing up with this function. The dates are considered double ratios, but if we put the dates after the quotation, they are considered as text, so they shouldn't be divided. Yes, we can try with some ifs. Maybe it's a good option. Okay, let's see what happens. I love that we do it together, like it's way more active. Okay, so sum ifs. So the sum range we want is in the turnover, okay, because this is what we want eventually sum. Criteria range 1 is the one of the dates. So we will say first we have the dates that are greater than 1st of March, and then all the dates that are lower than 10 of March. So criteria 1 is below, like smaller or equal than okay. Then we have range for criteria 2 is again dates. And then we want it smaller or like larger or equal. I'm sorry, I'm messing up. Okay, let's try, guys. I must say I'm a bit worried by these functions. What's wrong with them again? Okay, I'd say we can go ahead with like, we leave this one here and we do it at the end again. But I mean, there's no point in losing so much time on this. Also because I think that you understood the way it works, the function. So this was some ifs. So this is why maybe it wasn't working very well. Okay, anyway, we'll see it later on. Okay, and then oops. The last point, we have time of delivery in the online sales worksheet. We have to compute the time of delivery. We did, okay. Time of delivery. The time expresses the number of hours elapsed between the date and time of the sale and that of the shipping, okay? So we have the difference between the shipment date and sale date. Like we do the greater one before so that we have a positive number because it's dates, and simply we multiply by 24 because we want to know the number of hours. And it applies for all the columns, okay? Okay, so guys, We have one last thing we have to do, calculating a table to be created in the same worksheet. The number of single products sold, not the sum of the quantities, for each day. Okay. Whose shipping time was less than 100 hours, and the number of those whose shipping time was equal or greater than 100 hours. So we create a small table, so less than 100 hours or greater or equal than 100 hours. And then here we have to, like as before, we copy the item list, paste it here with the remove duplicates function. Okay, so we have all the different products that the company sells. And now we will use the countif function. So, I mean countif's function. So we will say count, not only the countif function, let's say. So first of all, in this range, we will count the number of products that we have. And the criteria will be equal to the number, like to the name of the product. And the second criteria we want to apply is the one of the shipment in less than 100 hours. Okay, so we select the time of delivery column, and shipment should be in this case, this condition, so less than 100 hours. Again, we block this cell because we're gonna drag down the function, and we also block these ones. So only the rows, as we said before. Okay, and we do the same for the others. Okay, same reasoning goes for the other condition. So we can also say count if in this criteria, like in this item range, it's equal to, oops, this one, then the delivery time should be this time greater than 100 hours. This is the condition. Again, we block everything. And we have the product. Okay, guys, I think if there are questions, if there are questions on the exercises, we can like go over something again. Otherwise, I think we should leave the room for the Q&A session that should take place right now.
One thing. That there's just one super small little thing that will take literally 5 minutes to go over. If you want to stay, stay. If you don't want to stay, we've been here for a while, so you're free to go. But yeah, so you can count that little thing, the first opening question of the Q&A. We'll just go over 2 little ways to go to do data validation again, because we did it but fast, so maybe it's not clear for everybody. And then we'll just do a super easy macro just so that you see the process once, and then we'll leave the room to the Q&A. So if you want to stay, we'll do that super quickly, and you just tell me. So yeah, this was just the last point we wanted to share. So here, oh God, what is this? Okay, never mind. Oh, my laptop is going crazy. So we'll just do super quickly the data validation one. So here it was just to show you how to do the data validation from a list. So in this case, you choose list. You should have prepared your list somewhere else. So here you have your list. So once you get here, you cannot write. So you'll have a little drop-down menu, and you can choose whether you feel ready or you want to stay for the Q&A. And then super quickly for the macros, here is a little true or false, super easy true or false. You want to record it because you want to know, like you want to do it to your friends and you want them to discover what the right answers are at the end. So here you just create a macro. So let's say we want to give the answers to the true or false. So remember that for the macros, you cannot use spaces for the macro names. So use underscores. And so I love Excel. I'd say that's a clear yes. So we'll put it in green. Excel will never be useful in my life. That's really, oh no, wait, hold on. I forgot to record the macro. Or did I record it? No, yes, I'm recording it. So then Excel will never be useful in my life. That is a huge no. You'll use it. Maybe some of you think that you only use it if you go in finance. That's not true. You use it to do everything, really. So even next year, for those of you who take corporate finance, there are a lot of things that you can do with Excel. So of course, there are things that you'll never do again, but there are also things that you'll do a lot. So really don't forget how it works, and try to practice even when you're done. Maybe, I don't know, simply if next year you want to go on exchange and you want to have the plans in your head, then you use Excel. Macros are cool. I mean, yep. You'll never use data validation again. I'm a big fan. I use it all the time to check. Like, for example, when I prepare my study plans and I know that I have to do some given exercises or that I have to revise, I create a list, for example, as we did before. And then I just, complete it once I'm done with given exercises. And we're ready for the Excel partial. I hope that's a big yes. So now we should be done with the macro. So we stop the recording, and here I just will bring it back to the original color so we can use the macro. So you can either simply play the macro from the view here and view macros, and you click on your macro and you run it. Or you can also create a macro button. So here you do it the way you want. So let's say I want to do a heart. I create my little heart, and inside I write click here for the answers. Then you do it the way you want. You can customize it. I'm having fun. And then you right click on it. You can assign a macro. Here you have your macro. You click on OK. And then here, if you click on it, bam, and it works. So that was just a quick review of macros. Here I am. Before delving into data validation, can you please do the function with the dates? I think that's for Maria. Sorry, I just showed this.
Were you referring to a specific one in the problem we did, like in the last exercise, or in like you want general review that?
The total.
That problem. Okay, so with the dates, we just said actually. Okay, let me get back to it. We just had the time of delivery request. We had to compute how many hours passed between the sale time and the shipment date time. Okay, so these two functions already are like dates with time included. Okay, so the format is already okay for this. And to compute this, we simply do the difference between the shipment time and the sale time. Okay, and then multiplied it for 24, because of course we want the number of hours. So this is how we did it. I mean, if this was the question, I guess this is the answer. Very about the function. The if function. Okay. Okay, let me get back to it. Where was it? March sales. Okay, okay, the turnover function. Okay, so we do okay, let's start from the beginning. The request was okay, to compute the total revenue for each type of product, considering only the sales carried out in the first 10 days of March. Okay, so we have sum ifs function, because we have more conditions to satisfy. The sum range we want is a turnover, okay? And then we consider the criteria range 1, so the date that should be greater or equal than 1st of March 2016. And then we have the criteria number 2, which is always in the in the date range. That should be less or equal than 10 of March 2016. In the date functions, always be careful, because like if you have the English system, then you have to put months before days in when you write the function. While in the Italian system, you have days and then months. So like always be careful with these small details that can make a huge difference. Okay, I think it should work like this now. I really hope. Okay, so here you see the total turnover. I think before we had the problem because that I put the quotation here instead of here. So this probably was because it wasn't working, but I guess we have it here. Currency. So I guess this is it. Is it clear? Awesome. Okay, perfect. You're welcome. Sorry it didn't work before, but now we did it. Okay.
Okay, guys, so that was it for our lab. Thanks a lot for joining us. So I'll stop the recording now. How do I?